Right then guys, so today we're going to be making a beat using the Spawn VST. Now this instrument's a little bit different than your regular plugins. Basically an instrument packed full of all different kinds of sounds that also has a MIDI generator. I actually think it's the perfect tool for when you have beat block or when you're just not feeling inspired and want to come up with a melody really quickly. Now full transparency, Sourceware Audio did send me this plugin for free. I've actually had it for a while since it first released, but I didn't want to rush to make this video as I wanted to really check the plugin and check it was something that I was really happy to recommend. So here's what the main plugin looks like. So this section here, you can select different properties that you want your sample to have. For instance, you could put it onto dark, you could make it airy, you could add bells and keys. Now every time you press Spawn, it gives you 8 different patterns. You just flick through these here. Now, as far as actually making a beat with it, let's lock this into a scale. So we'll go with maybe D sharp minor. Let's select keys, maybe a synth pad, take that off and add, let's go with reverb. Let's put it onto maybe energetic and see what it comes up with. Actually, maybe let's change this from energetic to dark, because I quite like to make dark beats. Let's fire straight away. Check out the other MIDI patterns. So I think I'm just going to go with this first pattern here. Let's turn the bass off though. Then let's drag this onto the timeline. Maybe add in an extra couple of notes here, maybe here and here. I think that's a really quick and easy way to get started making a beat. Let's just copy this over to 8 bars and we'll add some variation. Maybe drop these down. Let's bring these notes here, the kind of main notes from the melody, onto another track as well. For this layer, I've just gone for some bells. Take out the low end on those. Drop the volume. And I'm just going to drop in a little bit of chorus as well, just to soften the bells. Back on this Spawn track, I'm just going to take out any low end from there as well. Now, I always like to add in a really low piano. So I'm just going to come to the Spawn track here and I'm just going to take these notes, put them onto a new channel, drop it down, and we'll just expand some of these. Bring the velocity of them all up. Bring that an octave down as well. Straight away gives it that dark feel. Take out the low end again. Boost some of these kind of higher mids. I think we could get some background textures going as well, so I'm just going to duplicate this layer of Spawn. This one here, I'm just going to add some reverb. It's quite heavy, so it's kind of washed out. I'm just going to freeze and flatten it, and we'll just reverse each part. Join those all back together. And we're just going to add some Portal onto it as well. I feel like I use Portal on almost every beat at the moment. And on this layer, we're just going to have it really heavy on something like 100% wet. Just gives us that texture for the background. Drop the volume. Just a little bit of EQ. So far we've got the original layer of Spawn, we've got a texture that we made from that original layer, we've got some of the notes duplicated out, and then we've got a base layer from these original notes as well. So it's basically created almost our full beat just from that layer of Spawn. All I feel like I really need to add to this melody now is maybe a layer of some strings. So I'm just going to bring these down as well. Get rid of this bottom one. Then we'll just pitch this one up by a couple of octaves. Maybe something like this drill strings. Maybe add in just an extra couple of notes there. Switch these up here. Let's go to select split stereo pan mode and pan these out to the right. This texture here we can pan out to the left just to counterbalance that. Now the really nice thing about Spawn is also switch ups. So if I decide that I want to switch this melody later on as it's getting a bit too repetitive, I could always come back into Spawn or maybe even duplicate the track, delete the MIDI out of it, turn this off. We could go with one of the other patterns. Maybe switch it to this one as that kind of fits. So let's pull this out maybe for a later section and delete this one here. I'll rename this as Spawn Melody 2, just so I know which one's which. Recolor it as well, maybe change it to red. And then just to keep the vibe cohesive, if I wanted to, I could take some notes from here and then put it onto this bell layer, or I could even put it onto a completely different layer, give the whole beat a complete switch up in a different feel. Just going to put this over here just in case I do decide to use it later on. Let's start putting some drums on this section. Let's add in a few triplets as well. Some really simple rolls. Maybe add in just a couple of regular 16th notes as well here at the end. Let's pitch them down. A few notes at the bottom as well. We'll just bring the velocities down. Really simple bounce on the spins. Give the spins a little boost as well. Really simple bounce on the kick as well, just mostly following the 808s. As I can see, I'm going into the red over here on my master, so I'm just going to bring down some more levels. Extra snare just for a bit of bounce. I think on these ones though, let's just use this ramp function. Really simple open hat. Really simple perk. In all honesty, when I'm adding perks, I just look where there's space in the MIDI, try them out. There's no real kind of method to it. I just go by my ear and see where I think they fit nicely for the groove. Really simple kind of laser perk. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that stereotypical tubular bell. Now, instead of putting it on the root notes like I have the 808, I'm just going to bring it up to the A sharp so it matches our notes from the Spawn plugin. So just match it with this one here. Okay, so now that this main part of the beat's sounding sick, let's see if it works with this section here. Let's just pull that across, double it over. We'll just take the drums over, keep the 808 as well, and I've just kept the tubular bell. Let's see how they sound together. Main part of the beat sounding hard. See how the second section sounds. Fits in perfectly. It's kind of like a more broken down section. Could maybe use it as a bridge before coming back into the chorus. That's one of the things I love about Spawn, how easy it is to do some switch ups. That or when I have beat block and I just feel like no melodies that I make really sound great. I think as producers, whether we're quite new to it or we've been making beats for years, we all have those off days where anything you make doesn't quite sound right. I think it's perfect on those days to just power through. Now, with all that said, I can definitely say that I'd recommend Spawn. I'm going to go ahead and structure this all out and we'll take a listen to the final beat. Hope you've all enjoyed the cook up, and until next time, I've been SK. Peace.